guide today, and most of what you're going to see is part of the Canadian Air and Space Conservancy. This was a group that moved from Downsview to Pearson Airport for storage, and then Mr. Krupa bought the collection and brought it up here because he had a hangar that was big enough for the Arrow at the time. So Edenvale Aerodrome started in 1940. The Canadian military wanted a relief airfield for Base Borden, which is just down the road here. And this was started in 1940 as part of the British Commonwealth Air Training Plan. This was a project that was set up across Canada and all the other Commonwealth countries to train as many pilots, co-pilots, bombardiers, navigators, you name it, any air crew that was needed over in Europe for the war over there. So they moved in, they built the runways, they bought 500 acres off a farmer that was using this land, and they started putting in, well, there's a couple of main runways here and taxiways, and they put in a bunch of temporary buildings, namely barracks for in case somebody had to stay overnight here, and control tower and a couple of hangars. You'll see pictures on the far wall over there, and that's from that era in the 1940s. So in 1945, there was no more need for the military to train pilots and so on. So they closed down the airport here, took down all the temporary buildings. Some of them you might see in villages around the area as community centers, and that's where they came from. And in 1950, a group of car enthusiasts thought that the layout of the runways here would make a nice racing track, so they moved in. Whether it was legal or not, we don't know, but they set up camp here and ran motorcycle and car races here until 1958. And in 1961, the military moved back in and set up an underground bunker at the back, concrete bunker, and a bunch of other equipment to act as a radio transmission relay station here, which they set up across Canada as well. And that lasted until 1988, when their other communication methods were taking place, microwave and satellite relay stations. And then in 2002, Mr. Krupa, who had immigrated here from Czechoslovakia in 1968, he'd set up several businesses in the Toronto area, has become very successful. And he was out flying his airplane one day looking for places to store his aircraft. Naturally, at the time, the Toronto airports were charging the earth for hangar space. So he decided to set up his aircraft here. He bought the land from the military, who still owned it. And shortly after he bought the airport itself, these buildings here were part of a nursing home section. And I guess when they heard that the airport was going to be activity again, they moved out. So he bought the buildings and all the land here and access to Highway 26 at the same time. So as we stand right now, we have hangar space for about 100 aircraft. Mr. Krupa put in another hangar out the back here for primarily classic car storage. And we have an entrepreneur using the concrete bunker for his fiberglass carbon fiber layout work. He's found that the underground factory that he set up here is great for constant temperature and humidity. That's what's needed for fiberglass work. So he's building canoes, refreshment carts to fit on the golf course that you see around, and also the emergency exit doors on school buses. Turns out that's the first part of the bus to rust out, so he's building carbon fiberglass doors for that, and a couple other things too. He's always into new things there. We also have the Base Borden Flying Club here, because Base Borden is no good as a aircraft facility anymore. We have a skydiving club here. We also have 3 flight schools here, Stellair and couple of other ones. One is for private pilot licensing, the other two are for ultralight licensing methods. And Mr. Krupa is also digging his toes into private pilot licensing. He bought the North American distributorship for the Altos aircraft company, who are based in Czechoslovakia. So he took on that distributorship. He's bought 3 aircraft just so far, sold all 3 of them, and he's buying more as he gets more orders in. You might see the banner in the front lobby way there for the Altos. What's next? We also have 2 museums here. One is the Canadian Air and Space Conservancy, which you're going to see today. Next door to that is the Edenvale Classic Aircraft Federation. This is a group that moved here from Collingwood, and they have 3 aircraft now in serviceable condition. All 3 of them are from the World War II era, so they're training aircraft from that era. The Tiger Moth, Fleet Cornell, and a Fleet Canuck. They will take you up for rides whenever you feel like going for a ride in an open air cockpit and that sort of thing. So they also set up the yearly event here called the Gathering of the Classics. So this is an event, this year is on August the 8th. Rain date is the Sunday after that. And we have a dozen or more classic aircraft flying, and we also have about 300-400 classic cars coming also. Most of them from the Wasaga Beach Club there. That's it for before we go out. We'll be going outside and stopping for a few minutes to talk about the 3 aircraft that are on the grassy area there. And then we'll go into the hangar